Why were you trying to contact me?
You oppose the heretics, those that took the old machines as gods.
All kinds of organics fought Sovereign and his Geth allies. Why am I so interesting?
You were the most successful. You killed their god. You succeeded where others did not. Your code is superior.
Welcome to Superior Code. I want to mention real quick my blog post on Mass Effect 5, my updated theories on it, because this past N7 day was the first time I was updated with the community, and seeing them decode it, the teaser on Twitter and everything was really exciting and fun. And I had a lot of thoughts that I just didn't feel like doing a whole video on. That's just way too much talking, because it's a really long blog post that I linked in my communities tab here on the channel. And yeah, just check that out if you're interested. I had a lot to say. It was very exciting and nerve-wracking. So I just finished Scars Above like a day ago, and I just want to talk about this game. So this is spoiler free for now, to see if you'll like to check out this game by playing it yourself or checking out a no commentary playthrough before listening and having me spoil it. So Scars Above is about an alien object appearing in the sky of Earth, and a team is sent to go see what it is. And you play as Kate, who ends up separated from her team after passing out and waking up on a random planet. So I got this game for $10 on the PS5, and the cutscenes made me think, I'm so glad it was only $10, but after finishing the game, I would have paid full price. Like, I wouldn't have been mad to pay full price. So, like, the cutscenes are a bit awkward, but the game makes up for it by being really fun with its gameplay and the story. Like, the story is just really, really fucking interesting, and I love it. This game was just such a cool find. I haven't seen anyone talking about it. I was just browsing the games that were on sale and just got hooked by the thumbnail art for the game, and just seeing it was only $10. I checked out the trailer a little bit and I was like, yep, I'm interested, so I'll just get it. So I didn't even watch the full trailer, and I watched it on mute because I hate spoiling myself on stories if I don't have to. So luckily I didn't have to watch it with audio, so I didn't really know what I was getting into until I played it. And the game is like, if you rest, all the enemies reset. So that reminds me of the Souls games and Returnal. And after knowing the whole story, it's way more like Returnal, where it makes the respawning canon in the game. So that's really cool. And like I said, I really loved the story, and the dialogue isn't anything special, but like the story and like the path the main character goes on is really, really good. It was enough for the dialogue to be simple, so it's fine. It's very hard to explain the difference between okay dialogue and a really good and interesting story, but that's just what this game was. And it did end in a way that there's room for a second game, so hopefully in the second game the writing would get better in terms of dialogue. And there's an easy mode, so you can just focus on the story, and once you see how fun the gameplay is, you could play on a harder level. Now to get into spoiler territory, so there's your warning. It turns out Kate needs to stop a powerful AI from experimenting on human life on Earth because it killed all of the alien life before it found humans, because it's looking for more people to experiment on. And it's gonna continue to do it until it finds the answer it's looking for to complete its experiment. I loved the reveal that the enemy turned out to be an AI instead of a big scary alien, because that would mean there were more of them. But he's the only one of his kind, and he's the only one our characters need to worry about. So once he's dealt with, the threat is actually gone. I loved that this game also made it clear in the very end that the AI wasn't evil. It was just reckless with people's lives, because it's a machine and it was made to only care about the goal. That made me think of the Reapers from Mass Effect, that they were only doing what they were created to do, and they kept failing over and over, and they needed the cycle to study how to do it correctly until they could just get into synthesis and pure peace in order for them to stop the brutality, right? But that's what this game reminds me of, is these aliens creating the AI that just got out of hand, and the goal was lost in translation when the people who made the AI didn't give it empathy. So it's the same with the Reapers, where the Reapers eventually turned on its creators as well, thinking they were part of the problem that they were created to solve. So other stories would just write the AIs off as evil, but I really liked that Scars Above told us that it wasn't that way. Like, the AI wasn't evil, it was just ruthless and reckless because it's not alive. Even if the line was forced, but sometimes these lines have to be forced because a lot of people, let's face it, are stupid. There's so many gamers that thought Yes Man from Fallout New Vegas was evil at the end when he wasn't. He was just saying he was updating himself so that he doesn't betray you, but people took it as updating means betrayal. So maybe it's okay that this game gave us a fourth line to tell us this AI wasn't evil, because I think sometimes people need it to be said bluntly. So I can't help myself but to think about Mass Effect and compare it to other sci-fi games or stories that I play, and this game just made it just seems so obvious, but that might just be me being obsessed. But another thing that reminded me of Mass Effect is the friendly AI helping Kate is a blue alien that looks like an Asari, but without the tentacles, so just a bald blue Asari. And she reminds me of Liara specifically because of her looks and how kind she was, and just the way she talks to Kate. She's so soft-spoken. She talks a lot about hope and wanting to learn and being curious, and obviously she's a scientist as well. And there was a line in the game where Kate asks her if she can resurrect Kate over and over from death, why can't she do that with her own people to save them? And the friendly AI is like, my kind is more complex than yours. Like, you're easier, like, I'm able to resurrect you perfectly, but I can't do that with my own people. And Kate took it as like, so we're more inferior or whatever. And the friendly AI was just said, like, not inferior, just different. You're unique, you have potential, you're not, that doesn't mean that your species is lesser than mine in any way. So it just feels like all the lines the friendly AI said to Kate were lines I could totally imagine Liara saying. So it's really hard not to imagine a blue alien who's a scientist but also kind-hearted, and how do you not imagine Liara? Or she's like the memory of one. She's an AI, but later it's revealed that her human self, the original version of herself, put all of her memories and likeness into an AI and made its only goal is to stop the hostile AI. And so yeah, that's what we're talking to, is like the echo of the real scientist. Kind of like in Cyberpunk, we're talking to the echo of Johnny. It's not the real Johnny. This friendly AI is also like a purple hologram, like the Citadel hologram VI that helps you out, that answers your questions or whatever, your basic questions. And it just reminded me of the hologram of Liara leaving a message for the next cycle in the refusal ending. Like, it really feels like this game is a huge nod to Mass Effect. I don't want to look it up because I like to believe that it is. I like to live in this little fantasy that I'm not reading too much into it, but I just see it so clearly, and it really feels like Scars Above is if Shepard failed to stop the Reapers and Liara left her VI to help the next cycle and give them the message early and instructions on how to make the Crucible to stop them. It really feels like a simplified version of that ending and the outcome of that. Also, the main character, Kate, looks like Sarah Ryder from Mass Effect Andromeda. They both have the generic fucking white names. Like, can writers be more creative with sci-fi characters, please? Like, there are other cool and beautiful names in other cultures that stories hardly use. Or if the characters have to be white, just come up with cool sounding names that people would have in a fake future, please. Please. Also, Kate is like Ryder with a Sam inside her and translating the alien language for her. I loved how this game explains how Kate knows what the aliens are saying, because at first I thought the game was cheating by having the subtitles tell us what the friendly AI is saying, that they're saying follow. And at first I thought, because she was saying follow in a strange language, but the subtitles told me what she said, so I went into the settings and I turned off subtitles. But even if you turn off subtitles, it still translates what the alien is saying in the beginning, so I ended up turning them back on. So it doesn't matter. The game wants you to know what's being said, and I love that it turned out to be canon. Like, it turned out to be pointed out that, yeah, it's supposed to be that way. I'm glad it wasn't like a little plot hole. Because in Mass Effect 2, I can't remember in the original if it does this, but in the Legendary Edition, the subtitles spoil what Legion's name is. Like, when Legion first talks, it should just say Geth, but it says Legion. It says his name already, so it spoils his name. Not a big deal, but I just thought this game was something like that, where the subtitles just ruined what the alien was saying, and I just thought we weren't supposed to know. Just that we could gather that the alien hologram wanted us to follow it just by seeing it walking and looking back at us. And later in the game, we find out that other characters can't understand the alien language on like consoles and screens and stuff, and they don't understand when the AI is talking. Only Kate can. And the last thing that, I don't know if it's the last thing, but another thing that reminds me of Mass Effect is when Kate kills the hostile AI, it also destroys the only way home, like the only way for them to get back to Earth. And that reminds me of in Mass Effect when all the mass relays are destroyed if you kill the Reapers. and that makes traveling harder and longer for everyone. Like, it takes them so long to get back to their homes and seeing their loved ones and stuff. So there's a reaction and like an outcome to destroy. So I like that detail, that there is a way for them to get back, just like in Mass Effect. They can go back home, it's just gonna take a lot longer. I've grown to not like happy endings, but I don't mind this game leaning more towards happy because they did lose someone. I'm glad Mike was able to heal and Tomorrow lived. I just wish we had more time to get to know them, to really care about them. I only cared for them because I wanted Kate to feel like she saved them. And she wouldn't have felt that way if they died, but she was still able to stop the hostile AI from killing more humans on Earth. So it still would have been a victory if she was the only survivor and her whole team died, but she was able to save humanity. But it just felt good to see her relieved that she was able to save some of her team. But I do like that it wasn't totally happy because, like I said, they lost someone, and it was exciting that they couldn't go back to Earth right away. But the friendly AI was able to send them to another planet that they can hopefully find help there to take them back home. So I'm glad with how it ended, to where it's open for a second game, but it's also, the game ended in a way where it doesn't need a second game. But I would totally buy a Scars Above 2 if there is one. I do wish that the last chapter wasn't so much of a information dump, because it didn't need to be. I feel like the friendly AI could have told Kate so much of that info throughout the game. Like, I wish she was more chatty and of a character so that we can feel connected to her, instead of her just staying a mystery until the very end. Like, it would have made her being deleted or destroyed a lot more emotional. Like, I was like disappointed that she couldn't, and she even said it herself, she was sad she wasn't going to be able to see the AI be destroyed, but she knows that it's going to happen because she has faith in Kate, or hope in Kate, because she knows what Kate can do and what she's capable of. But it would have hit so much harder if it was like a companion throughout the game. Like, she stays so silent throughout that it was also a reveal that it was an AI. It just felt like, oh, is this like the spirit of the alien helping us through, you know? So it's like, you could have been talking to us the whole time, but you just weren't. So that's the only thing I really wish that the story was different, was it was more chatty throughout the game. Here's hoping like the cutscenes and the animation is a lot better if there is a second game. And like I said, like the story where it's more character driven and has better dialogue between the characters to make us care about them throughout the game, instead of it feeling like Kate is so alone when she wasn't alone the whole time like I thought she was. Lastly, I just want to say, someone I'm a fan of, Blue Lizard Jello, has a podcast with his friend, and the podcast is called Forgot to Save. I left a comment recommending this game to them because he told us to leave recommendations. So check out their cozy podcast, I'll link it. And also tell them to check out this game because they're more likely to check it out if more than one person asks them to. I feel like he would really like this game because it's like the Souls game, which he's a big fan of, and Returnal, which he also enjoyed. So thanks for listening.